going to go ahead and start boiling this water because it's going to take a while to do the pound of spaghetti. So put a lid on it and move over to wait for that to boil. What I'm going to do while I'm waiting for that to boil is go ahead and start the zucchini and summer squashes with sweet tomatoes and onions. This recipe takes about 20 minutes or so. So while this pasta is boiling, these guys can be cooking and sort of releasing all their wonderfulness. So, and I made this last night, by the way. I made both of these last night. And I made the Aglio e Olio with penne pasta, because I didn't have spaghetti, and I added spinach. And it was really good. Made a mess in the sink, but to drain it out. But it was really, really quite nice. So you can mess with this recipe. It doesn't have to be, you know, you can just do whatever you've got. If you don't have spaghetti, you can use whatever pasta you've got. I'm going to start that now. What I'm going to show you is the tomato trick. Okay. When you're doing a lot of cherry tomatoes for salads or for cooking, like I'm doing this evening. What?
The trick.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't. I went really fast anyway.
No, I mean at another class or TV. Yeah, or maybe that was it. I thought it was here.
So what you want to do is you want to get 2 plastic lids. You can use any kind of, you want them to match from your cottage cheese or from your yogurt or whatever you have, okay? And you put the ridge side up and you load it with clean tomatoes, the sweetest ones you can find. We'll start dropping pasta. I'm not using a pasta pot, unfortunately, because we didn't have one. The one that we have downstairs is just too dang big. You know, it's like this, and I won't be able to see you guys. So I'm just going to start getting this ready to go. Hello, here's your recipe. Here's some recipes up here if you want your recipe. Right here. You're welcome. No, it's okay. I imagine there'll be a couple others coming in a little late, too. I haven't salted this water yet, so I'm going to salt it with a good couple of tablespoons of salt. I'm using sea salt. It's about a tablespoon. Crank it. All right, so this is going, I'm going to keep adding pasta to it, because there's quite a few of us tonight. And I just kind of manhandle it to get it into the pot. It doesn't mind. Any questions? How to boil water. Can you guys see this whole cooktop? Can you see the whole cooktop? I guess I could just look up and find out. But okay, back to the tomato trick. So I've got the one lid flat side down. I put the tomatoes in there, so it makes a nice little cradle. Then the other one you put on top, flat side down again, like a serrated knife. See, now Kay's going to miss this. Oh well. And you hold it down with the flat of your hand and just kind of, you swipe the knife through it, and you have really nice cherry tomato halves. They do this on TV a lot too. So just remember, flat side down, ridge sides up. Okay, ridge side down, flat side up. You capture the tomatoes flat of your hand, and then you use a knife, not like you would do your normal knife hold. You actually have to kind of get at the end of your board and go straight through. Serrated works best. Blech. That's it. I know. That's pretty cool. And that's for, the, oh good. Well, this is moving along. It'll be about 10 minutes on the pasta. I'm going to turn the oven on. No G.I. Joes? No G.I. Joes. Bum, 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 bum. Back, set. There's two. I'm going to keep it there. All right. Olive oil. Move the tomatoes over to the side. I've got an onion already sliced, but this is my favorite way of slicing onions. And this is a sliced onion, so it's not diced. Okay? So it's sliced in nice little wedges. And you do that by getting your onion. This is a Vidalia. Any sweet onion will do. Take off the root end. Throw it away. And then just pretend you're Julia Child. And then you go back with your, this is the grip, the grip that you use on your knife. Hands up. You don't use your finger like this. You almost pinch the blade. And your fingers are clawed. There's a claw here. So you can actually kind of do this pretty much blindfolded, because you're coming up right against your fingertips or finger knuckles. And you have a really nice slice. We're not going to use this. Use it for something else later. Okay? Now at home I don't have zucchini. I only have summer squash. So I made summer squash, sweet tomatoes and onions last night. I'm going to get a pretty nice half moon out of this, like a 1/4 inch. All the way down. I always try to find a flat spot. Make a flat spot in your vegetable so you're not trying to cut through it on a round. I'm going to throw my onion in, get that started. Salt and pepper, already made up. Break it up a little bit. Now I'm using I've got the pasta water going over here, which is great, because when you're doing food like this, when you're doing one whole big menu like we're doing tonight, this pasta water is awesome, because I can actually add it into this. I can add this into the zucchini and tomatoes and stuff. Really, really good. And that'll work perfectly. Again, so I'm actually cutting through, I don't want to cut like this on the zucchini. I want to get a flat spot on the zucchini, so I turn it to the cut end, then cut it in half, and then slice it into moons. So I've always got a flat end going. Me, I like to season everything as I go. So even though it doesn't call for salt and pepper on the onions, I do it anyway because I just like the layer of salt and pepper. I just like to keep adding. I like to keep adding seasoning. Tonight's class is more about ingredients than anything. Go ahead and start adding zucchini. This is zucchini. This is summer squash. I like to use organic zucchini because it's not genetically modified, and conventional zucchini is. So I like to try to use either homegrown zucchini or organic zucchini. Genetically modified? That means that the seed has been changed in the plant, so it can the ground can get herbicided without killing the plant. Can get herbicides. The plant can get pesticide prevention on it without harming the leaves, but it does wonderful things to bees. So I try very hard not to use anything genetically modified. Okay, end of platform. Soapbox gone. I don't think this is enough for all you guys, so I'm going to add some more. Stir the pasta. Another really good thing about dishes like this is that you can just keep adding to them. You know, you don't have to worry too much about getting a mise en place, all your stuff done at once. You know, you can kind of take your time and do other things as well. I love summer squashes, and I love to be able to actually taste the flavor of the squash. So I don't really mess with them too much. I don't add a lot of stuff. I don't like to put cheese and stuff in things like this. I just really want to admire the vegetable. I'm just like that. I'm just kind of like that. And you guys remember last week when I did a corn saute? Was it the corn or was it another one of these? Was it exactly the same thing as I'm doing tonight, or was it squash and corn? Everything I can do with squash. Did you? You made the taco beef? How'd that go? Was it? Is it nice and tender? Garlic. This is the minced roasted garlic. I'm going to use that in here today. I've got another trick to show you in just a second. Add a little more salt and pepper, not much.
The first night we had the taco beef like you had with the salsa.
Ooh!
And it was really good. And then the next night we had the enchilada.
You made enchiladas with the taco beef?
The taco beef, you know.
It works well, doesn't it? It goes a long way.
Really well. Rolled it in flour tortilla.
Ah.
Just put a can of the red sauce on it.
I am proud of you. Way to go, Judy.
Salsa and sauerkraut, really good.
That's going to be a keeper menu, recipe for you?
Definitely. I was trying it out because I'm having something.
That makes me very happy, makes me very happy. All right, so this dish is churning away. I'm going to cover it. Sorry, I don't have a real lid. This I improvise the best I can. That's all I can do. This looks pretty well done. Okay, so what I want to do is drain the pasta and keep some of the water. So I've got a Pyrex measuring cup. I'm just going to start draining it off. I'm going to add it back into the pot though. And now I look like a weird guy with very thick glasses.
Did you say you added a cup of water back in the pot?
No, I saved when I poured out the pasta water. Just gonna put that there. This goes for about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna let this just kind of be by itself underneath this plate. The cool thing about this is that I'm actually warming the plate too. Right? Okay. Am I smart or what? That's why I get the big bucks, that's right. I have the oven is going on behind me right now. It's a light oven. It's at 210. I want to keep it kind of low. I'm going to use this pan on this burner that's still a little warm. Adding olive oil. All right, now this is the garlic. And what I did tonight, okay, so I want to show you this. All right. I want to use a bunch of this. I'm not using this right now. I'm not using the minced garlic. Put that away. I'm going to use real garlic cloves. Okay, and so I'm going to give this, this is the head of garlic in a pot, in a pan. Just going to give it a little tap, not real strong, but I want to release the garlic cloves. So I wanted to show you that, how to get rid of how to make a garlic head into garlic cloves pretty fast. There's that. Then you have to go retrieve them. I'm going to turn the pan down a little bit. Okay, so garlic. What I really wanted to show you is that earlier this afternoon, I bashed one of these cloves, one of these heads of garlic, and then I got a bunch of cloves out of it. You can get the cloves peeled by just using a towel or a paper towel. You can just peel them if you want to, or you can just lay the cloves down and just kind of roll them, and it'll release the paper. Or you can just peel them off, and you can drop them into this is distilled white vinegar. Distilled white vinegar, okay? Garlic is a very low acid food. And if you want to preserve full cloves of garlic, You want to get them into olive oil and in the freezer really fast, or get them into distilled white vinegar and get them in the refrigerator so they don't get, so you don't have botulism and die, because you can. So, and that's no fun. Death isn't that much fun just from garlic. So I'm going to use these vinegared cloves. And you use a bunch in this recipe. You see that, right? You use like a quarter cup it's asking for. So I pulled out a handful and I'm going to chop them up. If you put them in olive oil, if you put them in vinegar, they stay nice and crisp. If you freeze garlic cloves, they get mushy a bit, but they're still perfectly good. And if you have a bumper crop of garlic, anyone growing garlic? Super simple. Anyone doing it? Awesome. It makes me happy. Virginia's growing garlic. You're gonna have to share some with me. What kind are you growing?
I don't know.
Oh, mystery garlic. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. All right, so what I want to do is I want to pull some of these to the side. 3 tablespoons of garlic, 2 tablespoons of sea salt. Because I'm using both raw and cooked garlic in the Aglio e Olio. That will be probably the third recipe down. Red pepper flakes. Salt and pepper. Woo! It got me. This is going in a lot of pasta, so it's not like it's all that deadly. I'm going to put some more in. What? About smoke?
Mom always tells me my smoke alarm is not my timer.
Oh, ha ha ha. Your smoke alarm is not your timer. Ha ha, that's funny.
I'm always setting off the smoke alarm.
Are you? You set it off quite a lot, do you?
Especially when I do bread. You know, like garlic bread, it needs like
Really?
1 more minute, and I turn my back and forget.
So this is all nice and kind of toasty now. It's kind of nice. Does it? Garlic smells awesome anyway. Chop up a couple more cloves. You guys might hit a couple pieces of paper, so what, right? It's just, it's part of the garlic. It's roughage. Yeah. This is like cave person cooking. I'm glad. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Is this the garlic and the peppers getting to you, Judy? Are they okay? Just your usual. Okay. Okay, lemon juice. You can, if you squeeze a lemon with your hand up, you don't get too many seeds. And you get most of the juice. Here's what you want to do. That was about 2 teaspoons, actually. What else do I need to do? The parsley. Parsley. Here's the raw ones, the raw. So in this pan, I've got the toasted chopped garlic. I have olive oil, a little bit of olive oil, not too much. I have red pepper flakes. I have lemon juice. This is off heat. We get parsley. This is curly. They didn't have it. They didn't have the Italian flat leaf. Oh well. You can use whatever parsley you have on hand. Just make sure you clean it really good because parsley can get kind of grainy, gritty. But it smells so amazing. I don't think there's much more herbal flavor and smell than parsley. It is. And it comes back. It's so generous. It's a very generous plant. It's like a potato. Potatoes don't come back, but parsley comes back. All right. I used to grow a lot of parsley in Minnesota. Haven't grown parsley in a while. Okay. 2 tablespoons, oh God, transfer, 3 tablespoons, olive, okay. So I'm going to put a little of this garlic, it's toasted garlic, red pepper, salt and pepper, and I'm just going to start loading up the pasta in 3 additions. A little olive oil. This is definitely one of those dishes that you want to get your hands into, so you can get it all distributed fairly easily. It will be warm though. Just letting you know. I do have asbestos hands. My hands are actually paws. Long time ago. And you know how I did that? I burnt them all off picking up fried okra out of a cast iron skillet at my mother at home.
Oh my God.
I love fried okra. Oh, okay. So that's pretty nice. Add the rest of this. This is the rest of the pasta, the garlic and stuff. And because I was so inefficient at draining the pasta, it's still nice and moist. Also, you know what would be cool if you wanted to do this is that you could put some pine nuts in here too. I mean, that would be really nice. Sort of like a pesto thing.
This is just going to be a bed for your vegetables?
No, this is on the side of the caprese beef. Change gloves. All right. I'm just going to keep it in here so it stays a little warm. And keep the oven open. Don't let me forget. Okay, next is, finally, let's see how this looks, how this wonderful thing looks. Hot. All right. That looks lovely. Yum. You guys are really quiet tonight. It's scary. Oh my gosh, I'm the one that's cooking. Thank you, Judy. I'm glad you're concentrating. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the oven too. And remind me, because it's gonna be hot as dickens. It is pretty. It feels like it too. A little warm. Next is clean up just a minute. I didn't use this pasta water, like I said, because it was already moist. The pasta was moist because I was inefficient in draining the pasta. So, plenty of moisture in there. Next, got that? Did I put everything in here? Yes. Okay. The Caprese Beef Tenderloin. This is what I'm using tonight. This is chuck tender steak, boneless. Okay, because there's a lot of us. I didn't see anything else that I wanted to use down there tonight, so this is what we're using. And I'm crossing my fingers, it's going to be awesome. I have a feeling it probably will be. I have, this is mozzarella. This is mozzarella that comes in a log. Okay, and this is a bigger log. And it's down in the bakery deli where the exotic cheeses are. So I'm using that. I'm using one of the bigger tomatoes. Here's the bread. I'm using one of the bigger tomatoes, and I'll show you how I did the same thing with these tomatoes that I did with, this is a local Scott's tomato. What I did last week to de-seed the tomatoes. I'll do it again for those of you guys who weren't here. How am I doing on time? Good. Perfect. So this is a clean beefsteak sized tomato. And what I want to do is I want to make it seedless and diced, okay? So like you would do if you were making tacos or any other thing that you would like, a drier tomato base. You have your own tomatoes, better, mo better. All right, I put 2 pans on because I have 2 flats of beef. Now, what I do with this tomato is I go around the flesh of the outside of the tomato. I want to keep away from the center of the tomato as much as possible so I don't get the seeds. If I don't get the seeds, I don't get the water. If I don't get the water, I don't get mushy salad. So you get this really nice big chunk of tomato flesh. If you've got seeds, if you find seeds in your tomato, just use your thumb and pop them out. The center part of the tomato with the seeds aren't really the flavorful part of the tomato anyway. As hard as it is to reconcile wasting this much of the fruit, it doesn't really do much for you except make for wet salads, which my husband still insists on doing. He still just puts in the whole tomato. So now you have the opportunity to make a nice dice. You can use the tomato like you would use a bell pepper now at this point. Baby. This hot pepper will draw that right out of you. continue dicing this up while my pans are getting warmer. The caprese beef goes really fast. So in this particular recipe, unlike the zucchini squash recipe, you do want to have the mise en place. You want to have all your stuff prepared already. Before the steaks hit the pan. Now that looks like a goodly bit of tomato. The caprese is a really interesting dish. It's very Italian. It's the color of the Italian flag. Red, white, and green. The basil makes the green. I'm using the live basil that you see there. I am trying to get a little bit more of the flesh off of this because this was a big beefsteak tomato.
Is there more flavor in the green basil than there is in the purple basil?
There's so many different basils because this is the only basil that we've got downstairs. And it's just the regular old Italian, you know, all-purpose. So as much as I would like to have a Thai basil or, you know, one of the fruitier basils, this is what we've got. You have purple basil?
I did last year, I don't this year.
Oh.
It didn't come back.
Oh, no, basil won't come back. Basil has to be grown every year. Okay, mozzarella, fresh. Do I need more? I think I might. So, as far as the mozzarella is concerned, mozzarella is an interesting cheese. It's got more texture to it than it does flavor. But it takes the flavor of it's kind of like tofu. It'll take the flavor of anything else you've got going. So I'm going to, all right. I've got bread. I've got 2 pans warming up. All right. This is one of the French breads from downstairs. And I just cut them into 1-inch slices, but this was a long French bread. So I'm going to add the steaks into the pan and the bread, and then I'm going to toast them, and then I'm going to put them over here on this platter until I'm ready for them. I'm going to salt and pepper one side. These guys have been out. When you're doing beef, you want them to be at room temperature if we're cooking, so all the proteins relax. And I'm putting them seasoned inside down. These are fairly thin chuck steaks, okay? You don't want to put too much seasoning on steaks either until after they're cooked, because if you do, all the moisture will draw out of them, just like you're desiccating the steak. So you don't want to do too much salting and peppering until it actually comes out of the Mmm. From a vegetarian. While those are toasting, I am going to cut a little bit more mozzarella. So you see, it's a fairly simple meal. It doesn't take all that long to put together. And it's not that expensive either. It's pretty cheap, especially if you're growing your own stuff, except for the cow. And the, and the mozzarella. You can actually make mozzarella. If I had time, I would probably do a mozzarella class as well. What? It's in my car. Yes, I usually do use a cleaver. And I just want to toast these up just a little bit. I used to use the cleaver a lot. And then I decided I didn't want to drag my whole chef kit with me when I come into work. So I just decided I was going to use what I had. It's certainly not as flashy as a cleaver, but yeah. That might be enough. Okay, so this is a fresh mozzarella. And actually it has a picture of Caprese on it. You see this picture? You see basil, you see tomato, and you see the mozzarella. So that's the color of the Italian flag, or as my mother would say, Italian. I'm going to go ahead and snip basil off this pretty little plant. Get this in produce downstairs. You can grow it. It's in, oh, Kay, how's your bok choy doing? Aw. Kay is so clever. Several classes ago, I had this, I did this, class and we had bok choy salad, and I cut off, I took off all the stems of the bok choy, and Kay kept the butt of the bok choy and rooted it. So it's got a really pretty, quite pretty. Are you eating it? It's too pretty to eat. Oh no! It's food. Eat it. These don't go for too terribly long. Stop. Excuse me. All right. The basil, I'm just going to snip over the top of this caprese. I'm seeing how many loaves and fishes I need tonight. Yeah. And I never really know for sure how many folks I'm going to have, so I always hope for a lot, but I don't get really disappointed if I don't get a bunch. But tonight, I'm going to pull these off and let them rest for just 5 minutes. These are toasted, nice and toasty. This is a medium. These are pretty thin, so they cook really fast. I'm not a big proponent of well done anything, but I am a proponent of juice. So I'm going to throw the bread onto top of this steak juice. Open up the other pack, let these rest for a couple of minutes. You good over here. Yum, yum. So you want to be able to, get some of the juice on get some of the beef flavor on your bread. Otherwise, what the heck's the point?
Some people like to rinse and dry the beef first. No?
It's perfectly clean, unless, it depends on who's handling it. But it should be, no. You want them to be kind of dry. You want them to be kind of dry. You don't want to add additional pathogen, or you don't know what's on the. Yeah. Chicken. I don't wash. Cooking kills everything, pretty much. So. I don't really worry too much about. Okay. When you guys leave, I'll put this garlic in this vinegar. And then the next time we come together, if I'm not dead, it means that it's an okay way of doing things with vinegar and cloves of garlic. This beef has a lot of wonderful juices it's expressing. Nice. Flipper. I also have a tomato to get into a pan. You guys hungry tonight? Okay, this is the last thing that needs to be cooked, and that's just some tomato, the tomato that we chopped up a few minutes ago. And to this I'm going to add a little bit of red wine vinegar. Ha, you thought I was just going to say red wine. And you could do, you could do red wine. It's okay. You can do this with eggplant, okay? FYI. So if you don't want to, if you want to be vegetarian about it, you could do this with eggplant.
Did you bread your eggplant a little bit first?
You can, or you can just saute it. You don't have to bread it necessarily. It's nice. You can marinate it, you know, and just salt and pepper it. This feels pretty tender. Of course, that's why I get the big bugs. It's pretty easy anyway. I mean, there's not that much to it really. As long as you have the good ingredients, that's the big deal. Is having the nice ingredients, having the fresh vegetables, trusting, just having trust in your ingredients more than anything, and your kitchen. Plus, I'm kind of used to, and this isn't. I mean, what I do is do a production schedule, kind of mapping out what needs to happen when, so I can have everything made sort of at the same time. Sometimes it works, but as you know, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you guys are just eating like a biscuit or a cookie. It's happened. There it is. That means it's 7:25. I'm going to add just a little bit of vinegar, red wine vinegar, to the tomatoes. It'll actually sweeten them just a little bit. All right. As you can see, the thing that takes the longest time of any of this stuff is just the assembling, especially if you're doing a class. But we do our best. Yeah, I mean, you guys remember when I did the biscuits that time and my oven cut off and it didn't even bake the biscuits? It was so discouraging. You know, if I moved this over closer to me, I wouldn't be broiling my jacket. Reaching over. So we've got a really nice pasta in the oven, staying warm. I've got a pencil behind my ear. We have a nice vegetable, really pretty veg. And I think we're pretty much ready to eat.
If you were doing this for a dinner, you just put one piece of
Yep,
meat on.
yep, that's right. Because this right here is starting to look like nachos. Yeah, baby. We got some Caprese nachos going. And that's what you kind of have to do when you have this many folks that you're not really sure what's going on. It still should look pretty nice, and you guys should get a nice bite of everything. I hope. Let me turn these off. Flip these over. I think I've got enough for everybody tonight. Jared, are you still hungry, honey? Yes. Everybody's hungry, good. Yeah, it comes a point where you don't try to, just like top every piece of bread. You just kind of try to do the best you can. And just trust that you guys know how to use tongs and spoons and stuff. Because I'm going to top this whole thing with the tomatoes. I think we've got enough beef and stuff to go around. And it becomes actually sort of like a bread salad as well, sort of a warm bread salad. Turn everything off. Truly like nachos at this point. It's going to be really pretty here in just a second. More pieces of toast. Maybe I should have put a spoon back here for scooping instead of tongs, but I'm assuming you guys will be able to deal with this when it gets out to the table. All right. The mozzarella on everything. These warm tomatoes. See, it's starting to come together, right? Right? Not bad. It's all right. It's not a dinner. It's not like it's more like a potluck meal. It is like a nice. So that's going to melt those mozzarella cubes just a little bit, and then tear the basil in there. You could do a chiffonade if you have the time. This is not chiffonade. This is just chopping basil. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Not bad. Okay. Little couple of grind of pepper.